Okay, standard tuning for this one, E, A, D, G, B, E, and really just kind of like two progressions. I'll give you, a bunch of options for like where you might want to play the chords, just for personal preferences. So this initial way I'm going to show you here, this is going to be like if you want to get these kind of subtle little like hammer-ons and pull-offs that are happening in the chords. This is kind of like the best voicing I could find to do that sort of thing, without funky tunings or capos or all that jazz. But we'll start it here, and basically we just want a big E major 7 chord, and the voicing I like for this is here, where it kind of looks like we're making like a C chord, just move it up, where we'll have the open low E, and then we'll have the octave, the 7A, 6 on the D, and then we just bar the 4s on the G, B, E. And if you can't quite get that high E 4, no big deal, just try to get at least the G and B on the 4. So it does require a little bit of a stretch here, so you gotta be down with that. But like I said, I'll show you some other options if that doesn't work for you. And if you really want this version too, you could just capo the 4th fret and forget about like the open low E, just kind of like worry about that, let the 4th fret be held by the capo. So option there too. And with this one, okay, nice E major 7 thing going on there. And with the strumming on this initial intro section, we just do the first 2 chords, and we do them about twice as long as we do in the remainder of the song. So basically, I'm not great at like strumming patterns and all that jazz, but like I give it like a hit, and then we do like a quick alternate, about 5 strums, something like that, right? And then with a little hesitation, 5 alternate strums again. All right, and then here you can kind of like give a couple hits, and then we do this hammer-on that I'm talking about, where you could give it like a strum, and then basically we want to hammer that 4D onto the 6D. Alright, and you can just kind of hit the chord as you do it. Alright, and it doesn't have to necessarily be right there. You can just kind of mix it in like towards the end, like when you're comfortable with it, or just kind of like at the start, going through again. So just slowly here would be something like that, And the trick is just kind of getting it up to tempo. Alright, so like I said, the intro section, we do that chord twice there, and then we move to the next chord. And this chord is kind of difficult to get away from. It kind of just has to be here. Like I said, you can use the capo to just hold all the 4s, which make it a lot easier for you. But basically we want a G sharp or an A flat minor. So basically we just bar the 4s, and then we want the 6 on the A and the D. Let's get that G minor there. And you'll notice all these chords are sharing a lot of the same notes. We're mostly just kind of shifting bass notes here. Okay, we still got our 4s going on there, so that's kind of what's carrying over. But we shifted to this 4, E, 6, A, and D. And then with this one, it's real subtle, so you can throw it in or not, but I feel like I'm hearing this bit of a pull-off from like a sus4 to the minor, where it's basically like, right at the start here, you can pull off a 6G to the 4G. Right? I'm pretty sure I'm hearing it in there, but it's really subtle, so it's kind of up to you if you want to throw that in there, if you want to get like a little busier with it. And it's kind of that same strum, do a hit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, alternate, 5 alternating again, and then we hammer that 4D to 6D again. Alright, so it'll be something like, okay, just playing around with that, and that's 2 times an intro as well. We go back and forth between those chords twice each, and then 2 times all together. So that's kind of like the only really different thing that happens in the song chord-wise. Otherwise we get into this main progression, which is the same starting chords but just half as many times. Alright, so we do our E major 7, the open 7-6 with the 4s, same strum, same kind of hammer on deal you can do there. at that point we go right to the next chord. We don't stay on it. We go to that G sharp minor, and it's the same deal we did there in the intro. Alright, but now we throw in the new chord, the third chord, which is just a B, and this has like a hammer-on thing too, so if you want to do that, you can do this voicing, which is pretty simple to remember because it's basically what we did for the E there, but you just take that 7 and 6 and just bring it up a set of strings. Alright, so now we got the 7E, 6A, and then just have the 4s barred on the D string down. And with this one, you really don't have to worry about the 4 on the high E, because I would make it like a B6, and not really what we want. But if you hit it, it's not a big deal. So just kind of a voicing of a B there. And we want this because we're going to do that a little hammer-on thing here too. But on this one, we're going to hammer on the 4A to 6. Okay, so that's kind of like the optional thing there. And with the B, we stay on the B twice as long. Alright, so that's kind of the one chord at the end there that we just hang on. It's that same kind of like couple hits, 5 alternating, couple with the hammer on. It's a real loose shuffling feel, so don't feel like you have to like be exact on this thing. Just kind of like get a vibe for it, and don't sweat it so much. But next I'll show you, if you're not worried about all these hammer-ons, or like these voicings just ain't working for you, you could try a couple different options. Like for the E major 7, you could just hang down here, do like an open E, 2 on the A and D, and then just hit 4s on the G, B, and E. Okay, kind of an easier version, just kind of looks like a big old power chord or something. Alright, and you just don't have to don't worry about the hammer-ons if you're not interested. You just kind of want to hit the chords for it. Alright, you can do it there, or you can do something like this where you hit the open low E, 7A, 6 on the D, 8 on the G, and then just the open B and E. Kind of just like an interesting voicing of it here. Okay, it only takes 3 fingers there, so another option there. But like I said, this G sharp A flat minor, kind of hard to get away from. You know, just gotta bar the 4s with the 6 and the A and D. If you're not so, I mean, you can do a little bit of an easier version where like if you don't care so much about like the bass note, you can just kind of hit like the 6 on the D and then just hit the 4s under it. You know, it doesn't quite have all that bass oomph that you might want, especially if you're just by yourself. But like I said, a capo could fix that. And then for the B, of course, you could just do like 2A, 4 on the D, G, B. Or you could do a bar chord up here, bar the 7s, 9 on the A and D, 8 on the B, or sorry, 8 on the G. Up to you. So some options there, and aside from that, if you want to do the trumpet lead at the end, it's basically up here, 7, 9 on the B, 9, 6 on the E, go to the 7B, kind of hold that a moment, and then G, we go 8, 9B, back to 8, hold that a moment, and then just finish at 6 on the G. Alright, so hopefully I gave you enough options there to make this work for you. Those are pretty much all the parts, so once you have them down, you should have the song all set and ready to go.